Ever since Disney's new Ducktales series launched, the new show has been home to a treasure trove of references to classic Donald Duck comic books and Disney history in general. But the show pulls influence from more places than Uncle Scrooge's comic origins. It's a series that pulls ideas from pop culture TV and films, Japanese animation, and of course, the original Disney Afternoon Ducktales series. At the same time though, the show has made a point of reimagining almost every character it's adopted, as well as introducing some new characters, creating a DuckTales show that's wholly unique. And every now and then, it features an episode that shows exactly how it distinguishes itself from the legacy that inspired it. This is Beaks in the Shell. With the series finale of DuckTales just a few episodes away, the series has a lot of loose ends to wrap up. What's Fowl been up to this whole time? Are we going to learn any more hints about Mrs. Beakley's past? Will the show really be able to bring together Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Ranger, and Goof Troop characters all together for one enormous, impossible Disney Afternoon-powered final episode? All good questions, but today we're going to answer a different, equally important question. What's up with GIZMODUCK's girlfriend? Believe it or not, that's actually a really important question. When DuckTales first introduced us to Gandra Dee in Season 2, she was walking this line between love interest and villain. She was clearly interested in Fenton Crackshell Crabera as a friend and a love interest, but also working for Mark Beaks to steal the power of the GIZMODUCK armor. Eventually, she was revealed to be a member of Fowl, and actively worked against the McDuck family multiple times. So, seriously, what's her deal? This episode finally answers that question, but not right away. The story opens with Gandra Dee stealing some sort of electronic disruptor device, only to be pursued by Huey and GIZMODUCK.
Ha! No mere marvel can stop. Incredible! Innovational! Diabolical!
This whole sequence is a little odd at first, because we already know that GIZMODUCK has feelings for Gandra, and they show. He's constantly impressed with how she outsmarts him throughout their short battle. Turns out, that's more than the leftovers of a crush from their first date. The episode doesn't take long to reveal that Fenton and Gandra Dee are actually still seeing each other. And not only that, they're collaborating on a big project together, called the Gizmo Cloud. Unfortunately, Fenton is terrible at keeping secrets.
Did you create a virtual reality cloud space with thought-based environmental manipulation? Can I see it, please, please, please?
Without even trying to, Huey figures out that Fenton has been working on a virtual reality space, and he stumbles into that simulation, where he finds Gandra Dee, and Huey does not handle that well.
But she's a foul agent. What is happening? Ah! What's this? Some evil foul trap?
No, it's a weighted blanket. It helps with anxiety.
Curses. I'm totally relaxed now.
Fenton and Gandra have to tell Huey the truth, that they've been working on this secret project together. A virtual reality lab that can democratize super science by not only making it available to everyone, but by making it safer for everyone. Gandra uses the power of the VR cloud's thought-based environmental manipulation to show Huey a glimpse of the past. How she always wanted to pursue super science, but others never understood what she was working on. She had to experiment on herself to keep working. And eventually, the only people that would fund her work were bad guys, like Fowl. The show frames this as a personal story for Gandra, but it's also a story we've already seen play out in Gyro's life. He's often described his inventions as wildly misunderstood, not evil. And building robotics and gizmos on the bleeding edge of technology, that's dangerous. And the difference between a super scientist and a mad scientist can look pretty thin to those looking in on the outside.
But what if there was a lab where you could perform any experiment with no chance of anyone getting hurt? Ah!
No one gets hurt because it's all virtual.
It's sort of an idealized vision of what virtual reality could be. And that's perfect for the world of DuckTales, where flying robots, gizmo suits, and super science fiction is a reality. But unfortunately, that's a long way off from where VR is in the real world. I mean, we do have virtual reality headsets, and they can absolutely give you the illusion of looking around and being in a three-dimensional space. But we're nowhere near the world that Fenton and Gandra have built in Ducktales. A full, simulated space with physics real enough to simulate real-life science, with a working sense of touch and weights for weighted blankets? That's absolutely the dream. But it's also a really long way off from where we are today in the real world. In Ducktales, however, it is real, and Gandra has been building it using foul resources and servers, hoping to quit the evil organization as soon as it's done, to work with Fenton on something that will help the world, rather than harm it.
Once it's done, I can quit Foul for good.
We're so close to finishing, but the lab keeps glitching. If Dr. Gearloose or Fowl discovers us before it's ready, they may shut us down.
While all this is going on, Fenton's mother, Mama Crackshell Cabrera, can tell that her son is working late nights, and she's sure that he has a girlfriend. She's trying to find out who that is. And in a lot of ways, this is actually my favorite part of the story. Mama spends the episode interrogating anybody she can to find out details about what's going on with her son's relationship. And it's just packed with great jokes and character moments, including an amazing bit where Louie shows up to lie for Huey, who just can't keep the secret without help. And that deception fails spectacularly.
No, please! Huey made me do this! Do not arrest me! Louie!
Red nephew? Red nephew?
Green nephew! No!
Although it's played like a serious interrogation, this whole sequence is actually just mostly low-stakes fun, and I really enjoyed it. Meanwhile, the episode cuts to Mark Beaks, who's facing a bit of a personal crisis. As a character that thrives on attention, his entire self-worth centers around going viral online and being the center of whatever the next big thing is. But all of Mark Beaks' best ideas are stolen.
An original idea. How about a cup that connects to the internet for apps? Oh, even the stupid ideas are taken.
After 3 seasons of watching Mark Beaks take the easy way out and cheat, con, and steal his way to success, it's somewhat gratifying to see him come face to face with the fact that behind his facade, he's nothing special. And he knows it. Unfortunately, he's also not the sort of character who's going to learn a lesson from this realization, and instead he doubles down on all of his worst impulses.
Fine, I get it, okay? I don't have any idea, so I need to steal the GIZMODUCK armor yet again. Are you happy now?
Who's that?
When Beaks sneaks into Fenton's house to steal the GIZMODUCK armor one more time, however, he instead finds the Gizmo Cloud, giving him a new, fresh idea to steal. And although this episode is mostly about Fenton, Gandra, and Huey, the hardest hitting line of the episode, for me, plays on the insecurities of the villain. As Beaks tries to take over the Gizmo Cloud, Huey enlists the help of Gyro and Mama, and each of them with Gandra and Fenton use the cloud to envision their own special powered gizmo suits. Among which is the return of, and I can't stress this enough, the most important Disney DuckTales character. Tall Huey. Tall Huey forever. Anyway, Beaks has reprogrammed the cloud to give him ultimate power in the VR space, giving the con artist billionaire the power to steal every idea GIZMODUCK and friends throw at him. In a way, though, he's defeated with an observation, not an action.
There's no way we can beat whatever that thing is!
Yes, we can. Because we have ideas, and he doesn't.
Despite being an episode overtly focused on the relationship between Fenton and Gandra, and setting up a way for Gandra to transition from being a villain to being one of the heroes, more than anything, this episode is kind of about the fall of Mark Beaks. Throughout the series, we've seen him lie and steal to get where he is, but amid all that, he's bankrupt of unique ideas and individuality. At the end of the day, his scams don't even have their own unique creativity. He's ridden on the backs of others his entire life, and now, at long last, that isn't working for him anymore. This showcase of Mark Beaks' failure is something that ties into that old Scrooge McDuck life lesson and the story of the first episode we had with Mark Beaks. True success is best won by being tougher than the toughies, smarter than the smarties, and by playing fair. As a cheater and a liar, Beaks is the antithesis of this, and now it's finally leading to his downfall. I think that's a great close for the character arc of Mark Beaks, one that shows, despite his success in stealing from others, still shows that in the end, cheaters never prosper. For a kid's show, I think keeping that lesson of fair play in the story is pretty important, even if a character like Mark Beaks is pretty fun to hate. Even so, that's not the main point of this episode. This is a story that helps Gandra D change sides, moving to the side of the heroes rather than staying as a member of Foul for the finale. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work for her. Bradford catches her and imprisons her, giving us an idea of something that might play into the big DuckTales series finale storyline.
Take her to the Lost Library.
What? What library?
You have your secrets, Agent D, and I have mine.
In the end, this episode doesn't really feel like the biggest, most important story in DuckTales, but I like it because in a way, it's almost the most DuckTales of the episodes of Season 3. Specifically, I mean, it's one that feels like it takes more inspiration from the 1987 DuckTales series than the old comics, honing in on new original characters, more modern ideas like GIZMODUCK, rather than retreading classic Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge stories. Not that I don't love the old references to classic stories that the show has had over the years. The way it draws inspiration from all of Duck lore in Disney Afternoon is one of my favorite things about it. But it's also great to see an episode based on a mix of new characters, new ideas, and some inspiration from the original 1987 DuckTales cartoon. It's also another example of how much this show is very much its own thing, and not just a reboot of some old show. It's telling a story that could only have been told in the world set up by the new DuckTales crew. It's not really a throwback at all, but a story that showcases the potential for new ideas and stories that the creators made possible in this new world. I like that, and I'm sad but excited to see how this whole world wraps up as they get closer to the finale later this month. It's been a wild ride for these last few years with DuckTales, and I think they've done a great job with it, but I really am sad and excited to see how it ends. Until then, though, thank you for watching, and as always, take it easy, Internet.